Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about stop, drop, and roll for when you're internally on fire. I'm Jen. I'm a holistic family consultant and I support polyamorous parents and unconventional humans to lead deeply fulfilling lives. So I'm definitely not the first person who has ever applied the idea of stop, drop, and roll to internal fires, to being triggered, to um, that sudden flash of rage or anger that we experience. But from what I've seen, I have a little bit of a different take on what those three steps are, what I think is important as the things that you move through when you're trying to move out of that triggered, fiery place. So the stop part is pretty obvious. Not stop as in go into freeze, but stop as in pause. Stop as in whatever the whatever the fiery impulse is, whether that impulse is to run or to hit or to scream, if it's at all possible, uh, pause. If necessary, redirect that. If the impulse is to hit like a pillow or something. Um, but pause because in that place where it feels so intense. I mean, I I'm guessing that most of you listening can probably, when I say like you're on fire internally, like there's a flash of just like a sudden fireball, like you can imagine what that feels like because we've all experienced that sometimes on a daily basis. So, uh, that intensity, it's really easy to just react unthinkingly with no thought, with no opportunity to make a conscious decision about what to do. So the very first thing is the stopping, the pausing, so that there can be opened up enough space to kind of slow that down, to allow that fieriness to dissipate, to allow the possibility of doing something else. So the next thing is drop. And in my framework, I'm talking about dropping into connection. So, dropping into connection with yourself, with nature, with someone else, if that's an option for you in that moment, but some kind of connection. So, dropping into connection with yourself could look like taking a few breaths. It could look like my mentor says sometimes do something that an adult would do that a child wouldn't, like make a cup of coffee. Something that feels like it's nurturing or like it's creating a space for you to connect with your own body. So you're dropping into the connection with yourself, dropping into your body sensations, what's happening inside of your body, less what's happening inside your brain, which is, gone off the rails right now. And if there are other options, you can drop into connection with a pet if they'll allow you to snuggle, with a partner or a friend, if there's somebody that you can text or call or somebody's present with you that you can get, a hug or some eye contact with, assuming this is not the person who triggered you in the first place. We're looking for support with someone who is regulated, that we're not currently having a hard time with. So drop it, and if it's an option for you, for a lot of people, it can be really resourcing to connect with nature in some way. So this could be like literally going outside and touching dirt, or hugging a tree, or it could be looking out the window at the sky, or whatever is outside of your window that is part of the natural world. Or for some people, it helps to do this as like a abstract, as a imagining you're connecting with the natural world. So something like connecting with your feet, connecting with the earth through your feet. This is my cat Shadow. He's decided to make an appearance today. So connecting, dropping into connection is the drop part of this, and then roll. And I'm talking about roll through uh, the energy that needs to move in your body. So not roll as in necessarily. Sorry, distracted by the cat. So moving the energy in your body somehow. That flash, that activation, is an attempt to activate fight or flight. because if that activation was being caused by, being chased by a predator, or, um, an actual fire that you needed to get away from, something like that, that all of that activation of that energy would allow you to fight or would allow you to run. So it's a massive amount of adrenaline. All of your muscles are primed to move. Uh, in the natural world, in the animal world, when we see an animal encounter a threat, and especially if they can't immediately fight or flee, they can't run away, they can't fight it off. If they go into a freeze, which is where they play dead and hope that whatever it is thinks that they're diseased and walks away, if that succeeds, we see the animal get up and start to shake out all of that activated energy, because that energy was activated in order to fight or flee. And then when they couldn't do that, all that energy just got shut down inside of the body. But it has to go somewhere. All of that that's in the nervous system, it has to be let out somewhere, else it just stays stuck and frozen. And we start to see, um, as humans, we generally get triggered by things where a fight or flight response, in a literal sense, is not helpful. It is not helpful to run away or fight when your toddler stomps their feet, right? That's not actually a productive response. It's also not a helpful response when your boss asks you to do something, or when someone cuts you off in traffic, or any of the 21st century things that trigger us. Most of them, a literal fight or flight response is not the appropriate response in the moment, which is the whole reason that you're here looking for another way to respond. And what happens a lot of times, what I see over and over and over again, is that people recognize fight or flight is not what's useful there. They respond outwardly in a more appropriate way, but all of that activation for the fight or the flight just gets squashed down internally. And this becomes like a chronic freeze state for a lot of people, chronically like zoned out, disengaged, feeling shut down, helpless, unable to engage with people they love or connect deeply. It can also lead to chronic pain in the body because, imagine a time when you felt really, really angry and you had to bite your tongue. Like, we have ideas like that. We say things like that. I had to bite my tongue because you're literally, that's how you do it. That's how you stop the thing you want to say from coming. You literally clench with your jaw. You literally pull your shoulders up by your ears. You literally make fists with your hands. We literally hold our bodies to hold in that impulse. And in the moment, that might be the thing that needs to happen. But if that energy is not allowed to ever move, if it's not allowed to dissipate, then it stays stuck. And then we see things like this. And I worked as a massage therapist for years before doing this work. And this is something I saw constantly, a lifetime of biting tongues and having jaw pain, a lifetime of holding back and having, shoulders like this and chronic neck and shoulder tension. So it turns into chronic stress in the body. We're learning more and more that chronic stress also turns into other kinds of health effects, not just directly musculoskeletal health effects. And so all of that is to say, again, the role is to literally move in some way. So it could be going for a walk, it could be stomping your feet, it could be pounding your fists on something, it could be jumping up and down. It could be, engaging in a sport. It doesn't really matter. If it feels hard to do this, for people who've been in a chronic freeze for a long time, this can feel hard. So if it feels hard to engage your muscles and to move your body in this way, you can start by moving your eyeballs. You can start with little movements, just moving your fingers or wiggling your toes. You can start by like lifting a foot and then the other foot. It doesn't even have to be big movements. And if you allow yourself to move, a lot of times those little movements will start to bigger movements. So circle back, stop, drop, and roll as a framework for moving out of that flash, that fiery flash that happens when you get triggered or when something happens that's upsetting or scary. Anything that's activating in a big way can bring that up. Um, if this is a helpful tool, let me know. Let me know if this is something that you're able to implement and find useful. And the things I was talking about at the end here with movement, I have a free workshop coming up on the 13th that is, we're going to do some of those things as part of it. The idea is it's from helpless to hopeful. So the workshop is going to move from a place of feeling stuck, feeling like we can't do anything, and into a place of feeling empowered and like we have agency and we're able to take action. So the first part of that is that dropping, the connecting with the body and the roll, bringing in some movement to shift the energy that's inside of our bodies. And then in that workshop, we're also going to then move into looking at our most deeply held values and setting some intentions. So that's the process. The last time I ran it, the feedback I got was that it was really, really powerful for folks. I foolishly didn't record it when I ran it before, so this time I will, so that it'll be available forever and ever for anybody who is needing to move from helpless to hopeful. So you can sign up for free for that 1 hour workshop on my website. And if you're needing support with anything else, any of the rest of this, please reach out. And I look forward to connecting with you soon.